All right, so equipment that we're gonna need for this one, you'll need bands and sliders. You want a heavy object. If you've got a dumbbell, that's great. Otherwise, like a gallon of milk, laundry detergent, something like that would be good. And then a bench or a chair or couch or something that we can go off of. So we'll start with the world's greatest stretch. Again, this is gonna be the 45-15 setup, 2 rounds at every station before you go to the next one here. So world's greatest, the first one. You can either just do one foot all the way through, or you can alternate for this one.
$15 seconds out, guys.
You're in the mix with Fit Radio.
5. Seconds out. Next thing, guys, is going to be a banded glute bridge. We'll put the band just above the knees. Five seconds out.
So get that band up over the knees. It's helpful if you can flatten it out a little bit there. It won't dig in quite as much. And then glute bridge there. So you're gonna be up on the heels, or again, you can keep the feet flat, but if they are flat, make sure most of your weight is pushing into the heels. So by elevating the toes makes it a little simpler. You just know you're pushing in through the heels. Get to that top position, you get that lockout. Butt super tight in that lockout position, so it's a straight line from the knees to the shoulders when you're in the top. And just think butt. Squeeze that butt. That's pretty easy for me to think about, but 3 seconds left. So run 5 seconds. Same thing, you're keeping tension on that band. So you're pushing the knees away from each other while you're doing the glute bridge. And a helpful cue, think if we put a piece of coal in your butt, by the end of the set, it would be a diamond, okay? It's a nice tip I picked up back in the day, my early training days. Somebody gave me that cue and I found it helpful. So another 20 seconds left.
Get the diamond yet?
Yeah, it's coming, I think. Just give it a few more reps. And our next one will be a lateral crawl, so we'll be staying down on the floor but flipping over.
Band off.
Band off on that one, yes. 5 seconds.
Three seconds out. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Nice big hover. Don't be in a race. Think about also not trying to lurch the body, so it's a very flat motion across. Removing limbs lightly and setting them back down lightly. 25 seconds out. Ben's coming toward us. Toward us like a tortoise. Nice and slow. 15 seconds, guys. 10. 3. 'A little air. Back into your crawl. These first few exercises are just nice primers for the body. There's definitely some effort. "15 seconds out. Next thing, we're gonna do a 90-degree crunch. That's 90 degrees in the hips and the knees. Lots of core activation. 5.
So like you said, knees are at 90, hips are at 90. And to initiate that movement, you're pushing your back down into the floor, your low back down. So that gets those abs to initiate it rather than just trying to reach your head or lead with your neck or anything like that. You can lightly support your head with your hands if you want to, but you're not pulling at any point. We want to keep the neck engaged a little, but not getting too tight or not getting strained. Another 12 seconds to go. 5. 15 to rest. Take some deep breaths too while you're down on the floor. It's a good resting position. We'll go on 3. Taking a good exhale every time you lift up. Think about lifting the chest up towards the ceiling. And so there will be a little bit of rounding with the low back, but we're not trying to maximize that. It's more lift the chest up so you can still keep a pretty good position with your torso to get those abs firing. 15 seconds left. And then our next one will be another core one down on the floor, side plank switch. So 6 seconds to go.
All right, guys, side plank with a switch. Match those forearms together, roll the hips, roll the feet. Nice tall posture. You might take the hand, reach to the ceiling, open the chest up. Kind of similar speed as thread the needle, one of our stretching exercises we do. Reach another nice slow reach. Match those forearms, take your time, pivot up. And trying to make sure that hip stays high off the ground. So when you roll over, use that oblique, stay nice and tight. 10 seconds out, guys. 5. Good. Rest for a sec. 2. Back into your side plank position. Take that reach again. Halfway home, 25 in, 25 out. Next exercise is going to be a bent over Y. Think about kind of the hip hinge going to be down. 10 seconds out. 2.
So these Ys, they seem a little easy when you look at them, but to do them properly is actually pretty tough. And there's a lot to be aware of here to not put a lot of strain into your neck. So if you notice on each rep, Kyle's packing his shoulders down. So he almost does a little shrug and then pulls those shoulders down away from his ears. So that way, when you get to that top position, you're not putting all the strain into your neck. If you don't do that shoulder pack, most of the tension is going to go up in your neck, and that's not what we want to do. We're not trying to get those muscles to be straining. So another 15 seconds. He's in a good hip hinge position there, packing the shoulders down, keeping the thumbs lifted up towards the ceiling. Another 7 seconds. And this is a slow tempo one. I mean, you want to feel back of the shoulders, the upper back. You might feel a little tension in the neck, but we're not trying to maximize that. And another thing to keep in mind on these is your range of motion is not going to be nearly as much as you get with your T's, your reverse flies, your W's. So don't force it. Just your body will tell you when the stopping point is. So if you try to force it, all you're doing is using your neck to do that, and we're not trying to do that, because at the end of the set, you're going to feel nothing but your neck, and that's the last thing we want here. So just know that the range of motion is a little shorter. When your body says, I can't go any farther, that's when you stop. Just another 18 seconds left. But every rep's that good pack, shoulders down, and then you lift up. Last 10. And then next one's going to be hamstring runners, so you're going to need your sliders and you'll be on your back for that one. 5 seconds. Hamstrings will burn out in about 5 seconds.
We're gonna start with the regression here, guys. So butt's gonna stay down. Ben's gonna give you a demo of what it could look like if your butt was down. So in that position, while his butt is down, he has quite a bit of weight on the heels. Being a longer limbed individual, this might be appropriate for him. The butt is down, yes, but load those heels as much as you can. If you could, butt's gonna be up. And then same movement there, trying to have those feet kind of pivot and work away from each other at the end point. If that's hard, you go into almost a single leg glute bridge with the slide. That's gonna be quite a bit easier. 10 seconds out. So for those longer limbed people, or if your backside's not as strong as other things, hips down is a great regression, but you can still make it very, very appropriate and hard. If you start to cramp up, you're working a little too hard. Try to stay in control of the effort. Back on. And even in that single leg glute bridge position, he's still using a lot of weight in the extended leg. So extended leg is still working pretty hard. It's still driving down, dragging back in. It's not just a shuffle out, shuffle in. For a lot of people who aren't familiar with, and or this is a lot of effort, keeping that butt down stays good. You can get pretty aggressive there. 15 seconds out. Next exercise is a low lateral squat. I usually refer to it as a lateral limbo. 5.
So this one you're staying low the whole time. So notice the head and shoulders don't come up and down with every rep. We do some other lateral squats where you will come up, but this one you're staying low and you're just shifting side to side. So pretty good constant tension in the legs and the quads and the butt. And a lot of times you'll feel some stretching on the inside of that straight leg. And that butt is sitting backwards too. So we're not just driving the knee forward. It can move forward a little bit, but we're not trying to just push the knee as far forward as possible. 10 seconds to go. 2. Back on again. So depending on how advanced you are, if you get your feet extra wide, you're going to be getting pretty low on each side and you're going to stay pretty low. If you need to bring your feet a little bit closer together and stay a little higher, that's an option too if you need to pull back a little bit on those. But keeping most of the weight in the heels on these, so we're never leaning up onto the toes. 20 seconds to go. And if you're feeling like they're easy, you're probably not getting low enough, or you're coming up in between each one and you're giving your legs a chance to rest, because when you're staying low, there's really no rest period for your legs. 6. So I have rehab side plank next.
We'll go into that bottom knee down, 90-degree position, guys. From there, it is a top leg raise. Typically, the first few seconds feel a little easy, maybe the first 15 seconds, but then it starts to gain intensity quite quickly. And while using one leg to lift, the other glute is working pretty hard to keep the hips up. So when we switch sides, it's a very, there's a lot of fatigue built up, so it's challenging. 20 seconds out. If you have family around you that's watching you do this and they're wondering why your face is such, just have them drop down and do a set with you. It's a good demo, it's hard. 5. And then Ben's side plank position is pretty good. You'll see he's not too tight as far as forearm to knee. So he is in a nice long body side plank. A lot of people will sneak that knee in too close to the forearm, and then they're no longer in a side plank position. So nice long body, knee to shoulder, oblique stays active. Yeah, straight leg raise. There's not a lot of ways out of this intensity, guys. You might not lift the leg as high. Just settle in, focus on what you're doing, just get that foot off the ground. Our next station is just a strict or standard push-up. Nice clean push-up. Keep the reps nice, big movements. 10 seconds out, full range of motion. 5.
So just like with all of our push-up variations, you keep a plank, it's a moving plank. So everything's connected, knees, hips, shoulders, everything's moving together. And he's doing a good job of keeping that head pulled back. If you come in any of my classes, you know I get upset about this, but a lot of people like to reach their head down or tilt that forehead towards the floor. Do everything you can to keep that neck and head in a neutral position. That way you can get all the way to the floor and you're not going to hit your chin or your nose on the ground. 6 seconds left. Yeah, you can feel your lats a little bit if you're packing your shoulders down, which you should be. And with pretty much all of our other push-ups, you've got the regression. You can always go to the knees. And don't feel bad about that. A lot of times going from your toes, you're going to start to get sloppy after a few reps. And so we'd rather see you go down to your knees and keep that good, perfect position from your head down to your knees. Good. Exhale every time you push up away from the floor. 20 seconds to go. And then our next one is going to be a bent over row. So you're going to need your bench, your chair, your couch, and then that heavy object, the dumbbell, milk jug, whatever you got here. 5 seconds to go. You also call this one a 3-point row a lot of times in class, because you got 3 points of contact, foot, and then bench.
2. Single arm dumbbell bent over row, guys. Nice flat back. A lot of weight in that front hand. Ben's right hand carries a lot of the load. If you're feeling it in your back, just put more weight into that hand that is supported by something. If you can't find an object heavy enough, you can throw a little bit of speed into it, but you still have a lot of control. 15 seconds out. 5. The lat on the rowing arm is going to be pretty tight at the top, and you're trying to also get a nice pinch between the scaps as you pull up.
And make sure you're not pulling so far up with the elbow that you roll forward. You'll be able to squeeze that shoulder blade back.
So Ben's left lat stays tight on the supporting arm. Nice big reach, nice big draw. Now you can see kind of from your point of view that right shoulder is coming up and around to squeeze those shoulder blades together at the top. And then whatever tempo and weight is appropriate for what you've selected. The next exercise, we're gonna do a valve slide or sliders, discs, whatever you call them, crunch to pike. So we'll crunch in and then pike out. 5 seconds out.
So good core one, but you got a lot of weight in the upper body as well. So you're bringing those knees forward, then you go into the pike on the way back down. So it's more of a crunching movement, like a double knee tuck, using the abs to curl up, and then a nice slow descent there, so you get that eccentric core work. So not moving too fast with these. The more you think about using your abs on them to pull the knees up and to slowly lower yourself, the more you're gonna get in the core and not just in the hip flexors. So another 6 seconds to go. 3. Good, breathe a bit in between there. Those ones are gonna get pretty tough to go straight through. Depending on your mobility, you can just do the knee tuck both directions and not get those hips up high. Everybody's gonna be a little different on hamstring flexibility, back, and stuff like that. So this would just be that knee tuck back and forth without that hip lift and pike on the way down. So keep that in mind. You could always do a slow single leg mountain climber too as another option on those. Another 20 seconds left, and then we're gonna have sprinter start as the next station. So you'll be on your feet after this. 15 to go. Two.
All right guys, sprinter start, just a little different than that single leg jump, no back foot contact, being as though this does have back foot contact. Otherwise, same mechanics. Arm and leg are synced up. You are initiating this rep with that back foot. Push off those toes, drive up, push off those toes, drive up. If you want to have some fun, you can throw a little bit of extra height into it, slow it down, really work on a nice big drive. Otherwise, treat it as more of a cardio-based movement with a lot of repetitions. 10 seconds out. 2. Good. Same thing other side. Alright guys, here we go. Back on 45 seconds to the side. Push off that back foot, drive the knee, integrate the arms. Nice tall posture at the top. Then think about landing on that front leg lightly. "25 seconds in, 25 seconds out. "10 seconds. Coming up next in a front plank position, it's going to be marching plank. 5.
'Start out in a good solid plank position. Opposite elbow and toe moving together, so a lot like a crawling. And he's doing a good job pushing off the back toe. That helps push you forward a little bit. And on the way back, you're pushing through the elbow and the shoulder to help push your body back. The whole time you're just keeping that good plank position. Hips don't go up too high and they also don't sag. Another 18 seconds left. 10. 3. 2. There's a lot of tension throughout this, so you're just breathing the whole time, whether it's every step or every other step. 20 seconds to go. Our next one is going to be a pistol squat, so you're going to need your bench or couch or chair. Another 10 seconds. 3.
'If you guys can find something that is an appropriate height, let's use that. If not, something a little shorter, a little taller works well. And or free form, but being careful not to fall over. If you're feeling a lot of hip flexor or a lot of quad in that right leg, that's okay. You can keep it crimped like Ben is now. And or set that right heel out front. Use that right heel as a little bit of a support. Those with limited stability, this will work well. You can also now draw through that right hamstring to kind of assist in the way up. 5 seconds out. If one side for duration seems a bit crazy, we could always alternate, but now you're one set in on one leg, so don't alternate now. 2. Same thing, guys. Foot could be tight, foot could be elongated, or foot could be down in front of the body. Shouldn't change the drill too much. That right leg is carrying most of the load. Our timer says we have about 8 minutes remaining. A couple exercises to go still. 15 seconds out. Next thing is going to be core extensions. We'll start in somewhat of that dead bug position. So on your back momentarily.
5. So this one flat on your back, arms and legs straight up. You're gonna keep your head down the whole time and keep your low back pushed into the floor as you fall out. And you're going as low as you feel comfortable. Now the hardest would be going down to lightly tap the floor with your heels. You don't actually go down to rest on the floor. But most people are gonna have trouble getting all the way down there, and that's fine, because if you're feeling it in your low back at all, you're going too far. 18 seconds left. It's just a slow tempo. I mean, you might only get a couple reps in during the 45 seconds. The more time you spend in this extended position, the more challenging it's gonna be. 6. It's just that slow fallout. It's almost an eccentric movement there. A little rest.
3 or 4. Maybe 4.
Yeah, I think so. So you'll go back into that. Yeah, we'd rather see you go a little slower, get fewer reps in. And so the more challenging option would be to keep the legs as straight as possible, to pull it back a little bit. If you're finding you're not getting very low, you can always bend the knees. You can even go down to a light heel tap to the floor if you want to do it that way. Just different options to pull it back a little bit more if you need to. But the rules are the same no matter what way you're doing it. Head stays down, low back stays down, ribs are drawn down towards the floor. 15 seconds to go. 7 seconds left, and then we're going to be in a quad plank with a foot tap coming up next. So you'll be down on the floor still.
Three seconds out. Quad plank position, knees up off the ground, opposite hand, opposite foot across the body. Most people have one good side, one fairly good side, or you have one side that's okay and one side that's not okay, but this is a good demo. Take your time. Think about anticipating the load that's going to be in that hand and foot. Shift the weight slowly, and then pull those limbs off the ground slowly. 20 seconds remaining. 10 seconds. 2. If this is more weight than you want in that single arm, you could have both hands on the ground and just move one leg through the same pattern, so still removing one leg off the ground. But I know for some, the wrists are a bit of a source of complaint, so if you need to, just leave both hands down, remove just the leg. After the quad plank with opposite foot tap, we'll get the bands back on above the knees. So find that band that you threw off earlier. We'll use it again. "15 seconds out. 10. And we're going to use that band for banded squat jumps, guys. So just above the knees.
So good soft landing on these. If you got neighbors below you, you can barely get off the floor, or not even off the floor. You can still simulate a jump very well without needing to get off the floor. And the more you control that landing, the softer it's going to be, and there shouldn't be a whole lot of noise on this one. You got 15 seconds to go. Knees are staying pushed out into that band too. That's the idea with the band on these. 6, 2, 1. These ones should get a pretty good burn in your legs going. We're going 2. So you see how he sits the butt back. The heels do come down to the floor. On this one, you land on your toes, but then you sit back in your heels, and that's what helps distribute the weight when you're coming down, so you're not just pounding down onto the floor. A lot of breathing on this one. It's going to get the heart rate up. 20 seconds to go. And then last one, you're going to keep the band on, and it's going to be our abduction extension here. Another 12 seconds. Last 5.
Alright guys, ABD EXT, coming off the body about 45 degrees. Find that left foot in the floor. Find some stability. That band is just above his knees. Right glute is very tight. Think about pushing that right heel off of the body in about a 45-degree pattern. Just a static hold. 15 seconds out. It's one of my more favorite drills. 10. 2. If you're not feeling it as much as you think you should, separate those knees. The band is kind of the indicator how hard you're working. Stretch that band out a lot.
Those new bands will feel really good on your tongue.
Yeah, back on, same thing other side. Staying long head to heel on the left side, left glute's tight. That right knee stays bent so we're not in a straight leg position. It's kind of a hinge base. Your right knee just cocked forward just a little bit just to unlock it. If you have stability issues, just hold on to something. Ben could hold on to that rack if he was a little closer. Anything around you, but do the same exercise. 15 seconds.
Just hold on to your glutes.
Yeah, just squeeze your, both glutes are pretty tight here. 5, especially after those band squat jumps. We'll take a 30-second pause, guys. We'll get into some stretches. 10 seconds out, guys. It'll be the line 90-90. Top leg gets wrapped under bottom leg. Nice, easy, open chest. You really take a second when you get there. Pause for a second, feel the stretch, maybe 1 or 2 exhales, move that rib cage around a little bit. And then as Ben cued in an earlier video, that knee is high, so up about belly button height, at least 90 degrees. If your mobility is not great, you can stack a pillow or something under the knee as Ben is now, and that will give you a little more thoracic mobility. You'll be able to get toward the floor. 15 seconds out. And also, as earlier mentioned, having something under the head to brace the head is helpful for some people. 2. Good, switch sides. Five seconds out. And brace the knee if you'd like to. 20 seconds here still. Same idea. If you have a partner in the room, have them hold your knee down as well if it's helpful. If they can pin your knee down, you can go through this range of motion. Then you guys can switch. 10 seconds. We're gonna be on our backs for that supine figure 4 knee hug. In that position, draw the knee toward the body. Should feel a nice glute and hamstring stretch on the left side of the body. Work on your breathing here, relax. If you're having a hard time relaxing, close the eyes, couple deep breaths. If you can't get around to the front of the knee, you can grab the hamstring instead. So you would unfold the leg. Ben's gonna demo that, but he's very relaxed, so he's not. He's not listening to me. Hamstring instead of knee. So if your mobility is not so good, that is an easier option for some people to get around to. Ben was about to fall asleep on us. 5 seconds out. We'll take 15 to recover, switch legs. I hope you all are well and are enjoying the videos thus far. 3, 2, good. Back up, grab the front of the knee if you can, but regress to hamstring if that's too much. Lats stay tight, shoulders stay down. Work on some deep breaths. "15 seconds out. We'll take 15 to rest and go into the cat-cow position. Two. Good demo here, guys, from Ben. Take your time, move through a full range of motion depending on abilities. Shouldn't feel too much stretch in the back on that one. Take your time, nice big arch, activate the core, activate the lats, a little bit of glutes. 15 seconds here. 5. Once more the same, guys, and then you can go back to your day. "15 seconds. Two. That's it, guys. Thanks for joining. If you're still a little tight, go back through some other stretches we have uploaded. Talk with you soon.